We brought you the saga of Libs of TikTok, one of the most informative accounts on Twitter, and because it is so informative, it keeps getting banned. Libs of TikTok just proved that physicians are, in fact, castrating young people, minors, for no legitimate purpose whatsoever. Libs of TikTok recorded this call with Children's National Hospital, for example, in Washington, D.C.
I just want to know if you guys do service that age, before coming all the way for an in-person consult and going through all the paperwork and everything.
Yeah, it depends. Like, each department is different. Some departments cut off for 18. How old is your patient?
16.
Okay, all right. So they're in the clear.
So they would do it for that age.
Yes.
Okay, great. Is it a common procedure that you guys do for that age?
Yes, we have all different type of age groups that comes in for that.
For the hysterectomy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, do you know what's the youngest age you would do it on?
I'm not sure, but I have seen younger kids, and I'm not, speed of HIPAA, I'm not allowed to say that, but I have seen younger kids, younger than your child's age.
Get the gender-affirming hysterectomy surgery?
Yes.
Yeah, castrating kids. They admitted it, flat out. Now Children's Hospital is denying it. They're pretending it's not true. Today, Vice.com, which rides to the rescue of anyone in power who's been embarrassed, whether it's the CIA or the State Department or the Biden administration or Google or, in this case, the medical establishment, went after Libs of TikTok. One person, Vice, got like $1 billion in venture funding, and they're claiming that Libs of TikTok is, quote, helping the Kremlin boost anti-LGBT disinformation. And then the Washington Post, owned by the richest man in the world, accused Libs of TikTok of lying. And then NPR, which is funded by your tax dollars, and spends all of its time attacking you and your family, for whom they have pure contempt, is pushing to ban Libs of TikTok. And then shortly after that, not surprisingly, Twitter obeyed and suspended Libs of TikTok, alleging hateful conduct. So Libs of TikTok creator Chaya Raichik joins us tonight to explain what this is about. I sure appreciate your coming on. Tell us how they construed hateful conduct from your reporting. How was that hateful, did they say?
Hi, Tucker. No, they did not say. They purposely left it, for the imagination. But I can only imagine that doing journalism and reporting on something that they don't approve of is hateful. That's what they view as hateful now.
So you're committing actual journalism, bringing to light facts and allowing people to assess what they think of those facts. That's what journalism is. And then the Washington Post, NPR, and the loathsome, overfunded website Vice decide you must be censored for this? Does this seem like an inversion of the way things should be?
Yes, it's really scary when you see journalists and media calling for another independent journalist to be completely silent. They don't just want me banned, they want me demonetized, they want me silenced, they want me off the internet forever for simply doing a little bit of investigative work, which is what they should be doing, and exposing the Children's National Hospital.
Do you recognize, obviously, the totalitarian impulses behind what these media organizations are doing, I assume?
Yes, and the fact that big tech is working with them and just complies, and these media companies, they're able to call on big tech to do their doing and to suspend me like that. Is really scary. Yeah.
Never comply, never obey, never stop telling the truth. Chaya Raichik, thank you for what you do. Creator of Libs of TikTok. Why is the sexual mutilation of children, the sterilization of children, legal? No one in the Congress seems to be asking that. No one did until Marjorie Taylor Greene decided this is worth legislating. She represents Georgia in the U.S. Congress. She joins us with an announcement about new legislation pending. Congresswoman, thanks so much for coming on. So what do you plan to do about this?
Well, I find this absolutely appalling, Tucker. And, the whole reason why I ran for Congress in the first place is because I'm one of the Americans that are sick and tired of our government allowing the abuse of the American people. But when it comes to gender-affirming care, which is really child abuse, this is actually an assault and it's child abuse. And this practice should never happen. It's so disgusting and appalling, and it's an embarrassment to our country. You see, I'm one of those that believes the Republican Party is only worth being a true party, worth deserving of the people's votes, if we are willing to stand up and stop horrific things like child abuse and like so-called gender-affirming care, which is really genital mutilation. It's puberty blockers that cause chemical castration, teenage girls actually having their breasts chopped off, teenage boys being castrated. This needs to be illegal, and I'm introducing a bill called Protect Children's Innocence Act, and it would create a law that would cause it to be a Class C felony for any person involved in so-called gender-affirming care. That means genital mutilation surgery, that means hormones, that means puberty blockers, anything involving any youth under the age of 18, because these kids are too young to make these awful decisions that will affect them and will be permanent for the rest of their lives.
In recent weeks, we've learned a lot about what is actually happening inside children's hospitals around the country. Most people trust children's hospitals implicitly. They just didn't know the details. But thanks to the internet, we now do. And it turns out some of these hospitals are performing horrifying experiments on children, elective hysterectomies on minors, physical and chemical castration, things you'd think would be crimes, but that apparently aren't, and that are going on in children's hospitals in the United States. And now we're learning more. The journalist Chris Rufo has just broken a story about the Children's Hospital of Chicago and local school administrators promoting, quote, kink, BDSM, and trans-friendly sex toys for kids. Hard to believe that's true, but Chris Rufo has that story for us now. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. This does sound like something you made up, but you didn't.
It does, and unfortunately, it's actually true. And so what the situation is that the Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago, the largest children's hospital in the state of Illinois, partnered with at least 4 public school districts promoting radical gender theory as part of their teacher and administrator training programs. They're promoting the idea that gender is not binary, that the idea that man and woman exist is a false binary. And they're doing everything, including promoting trans-friendly sex toys. They're promoting a LGBTQ-friendly sex shop for teens. These are really bizarre items that they're telling middle school and high school teachers to be promoting, including dildos, including artificial penis pumps, all kinds of menageries of horror that are now being mainlined from the largest children's hospital into the K-12 public school system.
All of these hospitals have boards, and in a city like Chicago, they're the most prominent business leaders typically in the city. Has anyone sent a camera to the board members of this hospital and asked, why are you signing off on the castration of children, hysterectomies for girls, trans-friendly sex toys? Like, has anyone answered for this?
They haven't, but what we have absolutely seen is that hospitals, and especially children's hospitals, are really on the forefront of radical gender theory. They have an entire department or a program that's not dedicated to giving medical services, but it's actually dedicated to transmitting this ideology through all of the various organs and institutions of the state.
That's right.
And so you're getting this everywhere. The children's hospital are promoting it, and it's being done with the complicity of public school administrators.
Chris Rufo, a dogged reporter and one of the few who actually understands the ideas beneath the stories. I'm so grateful for what you do. Thank you very much.